Some amazing, some really cool training that we're doing today. This is a live workshop we're doing. It's called God's Calling Me to Coach. So if you are feeling like God is calling you to be a coach, a life coach, a business coach, a relationship coach, anything, anyway, anything related to that, and you feel, and you're a Christian, you feel like you'd like some more help with that, happy to help you learn some things about video, about media, so that you can really grow your audience, grow your impact, use the power of media to get out there and just really make a big difference in the world. So this is going to be, let me just tell you a little bit about this new live training. It is a series. So I'm going to be doing these most Saturdays, same time. So get used to that if that's time that works for you. We are live streaming this to multiple platforms. We're going to straight to YouTube. We also are going to a few of my YouTube. I'm sorry, my Facebook channels. So my personal Facebook group, my business Facebook group, our page, and then also the Facebook group, God's Calling Me to Coach. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss one of these live stream workshops, make sure that you join the group. God's Calling Me to Coach is a Facebook group. You can just go to godscalling.me and you can sign up and get in there. And if you're in here live, will you just give me a quick shout out so that I know that the technology's working. I've got chat working here so that when you put a little comment in chat, it'll show up and we can interact. Actually, one thing just real quick. If you are on Facebook and want to make sure that, anyway, Facebook makes it so that it doesn't show your name by just kind of by default. But if you'd like to show your name and your photo so that we can actually have a real-ish conversation, just open up another browser window, hit chat.restream.io/FB. You'll just give them permission so that they can use your face and use, oh look, okay, and use your image. I mean your face and your name. Otherwise it does show up, says Facebook user, and it's just kind of generic, kind of general. I think it's cooler when you can show up your name. Hey, Cindy. Hey, it's Carl. You know, whatever, and then we can. It's a little bit more personal that way. So if you want to make sure that your face and your name shows up, just go to chat.restream.io/FB. Just give them a little bit of permission there, and away we go. So. Okay, let me just get back to my screen here. So a few things here. Okay, I have been learning some really cool stuff and I am so excited to share it with you. I have been learning about, anyway, what I've discovered is that I am an expert, believe it or not, in the live video system. And this is something that I am putting together. Actually, let me just share my screen with you real quick. Okay, so this is something in live video, just so you know, it doesn't always have to be live. I recognize right now we're live streaming, and yes, that's live, but you can use live video for so many different things. One of the things that I do is I do basically live video system processes to create a almost daily podcast. So if you go to callpowered.tips, TIPS, you can find out more about my podcast and learn about that. But that's been one of the things that I have been learning is that I want to create this content, but it's so hard to create content, right? And that it just takes so much time. And so I've been learning different systems that will help me do that easily and effortlessly. And so I'm putting these into practice, putting these into place, and want to share them with you. So that is the purpose of this this new workshop series, this live streaming series. It's going to let you know about. Anyway, I'm going to go more into depth on how you can learn some of these things. Today we are talking about, let me hit this again. Today we are talking about, oh yeah, here we go. Sorry. Okay, how to grow your business using YouTube. And this is for Christian coaches, so we're going to be specific on that. And hopefully this is going to be some stuff that will really help you. So I just want to give you a quick lay of the land on how this is all going to work. First of all, right now I'm kind of giving some backstory stuff. I'm giving some foundational things so that you understand what's, where this has come from, why we're doing this. And then I'm really kind of geeking out about this. Then we're going to do something I have never done before. And I am really excited about this. Honestly, a bit nervous. But if I tell myself I'm excited, I think excited thoughts. Okay, we're going to record a YouTube video live together. Okay, we're going to record start to finish whole thing, and then after we're done with that, then we're going to have a Q&A session so we can go deeper into some of the things that I talk about there. So again, hop into chat, give me some comments in there. It looks like it is working. Do let me know if you're anyway, put your face in if you're able to, because it's just cooler to be able to have a real-ish conversation with that. So anyway, that gives you just a little bit of how this is all going to work. Thank you very much for joining. I do see that we have people on live, so make sure that you just type something in the comments so that we can get get everything working, the algorithms and all that stuff, so that more people can find out about this. Okay, so so also I want you to know this is an experiment. This is totally an experiment. Never done this before. I think it's going to work, but not sure. But we're going to learn some things along the way. So if you have suggestions on ways that I can improve, things that you want to hear about, things that you'd like to learn, let's make, please share those with me. If you have like thoughts of, content of a future workshop, I really want to learn, how to edit or how to create a YouTube thumbnail or, whatever. Hey, Livia, good to see you. Please put that into the chat so that, I can find out what it is that you're looking for. And Livia, thank you. Oh, it was really nice of you to put such a nice comment in there. Thanks for going in and making it so that your face shows up. And anyway, I just love that. So we are going to have so much fun together and just super excited. So today's topic is using video to grow your coaching business. And let's see, I did tell you about the multicast. I told you that if you really want to make sure that you don't miss one of these workshops, that you register whatever, that you join our Facebook group, and it's God's Calling Me. Actually, it's God's Calling Me to Coach. That is the Facebook group, and you can get there easily through just going to godscalling.me. Okay, and that's how you get there. All right, so. Let's see. Do we need to do it on every live or just once? Oh, okay. So you're just real quick. Let me answer that. You're asking about the restream thing. I don't know exactly how this works. I don't know if it's a one-time thing. I haven't been in it enough on the user side, but it's a really quick thing. So if you just add chat.restream.io/FB in another web browser, just give them permission, and then your face shows up. And it's just really cool to have that interaction. So thank you, Livia, for adding that, because now I know who I'm talking to about that, and it just makes it more personal. Okay, so are you ready for this? We're going to record YouTube training right here. It's going to be a YouTube video, and we're going to record it live right here together. Really excited about this. Remembering exciting. And anyway, we're really hoping this works. So with that, please pray for me as we get going. And remind me at the end, I want to pray for you at the end. So, so with that, here we go. Okay. And also, this is a 9-minute segment that we're doing here. And I'll tell you a little bit about that afterwards. So make sure you stick around. Okay. Okay, here we go. Hello, Christian coaches. Today we are talking about using video to grow your coaching business. I'm going to share with you one truth with you that once you understand this, it's going to change the game for you forever. You're never going to look at YouTube quite the same, and you're going to recognize that this is something God has given you so that you can serve the people that you've been called to serve. So with that, let's jump into it. Okay, now I will explain something real quick, just so that you know what's going on here. This is actually being recorded live, and there's a few reasons that we're doing that. First of all, we tend to make things harder than they have to be. Now, I know doing live sounds like it's harder, but it's actually easier. And so I just want to show you, I've actually got a live audience listening and watching this, and we're going to, anyway, I want you to realize that doing things simpler is the way to go. So I'm showing you how to do that. I'm also demonstrating my live video system that makes creating libraries of content just push button easy. I want to show how easily you can do this, and mostly I want to show you, yes, you can do this. So this training's under 9 minutes, 9 minutes 9 seconds, and we're talking today about how to use YouTube to grow your business. First of all, we're going to talk about how to not use YouTube. I'm going to share with you a big idea that once you understand this, it's going to change the game. And then I'm going to share with you the 4-part framework that will keep you on track so that the videos that you make will actually make a difference. Okay, so the very first thing not to do, don't sink all of your money into big productions. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. What you need to do is, anyway, we're going to get into the do's. Okay, and don't entertain unless you're in the entertainment business. I have so many friends that I coach that they put so much into like making it super snazzy or making it super interesting, and thinking that they need to entertain for people to watch. You don't need to watch. You don't need to entertain to get people to watch if you're giving valuable content. We're going to talk about that. And now this this next point may be the opposite of what I just said. The next thing is don't be boring. Okay, so you don't need to entertain, but don't be boring. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do that, but you need to recognize first and foremost, you're here to provide content. I mean, valuable content. Okay, and then don't try to sell. You are here to serve. Once you understand that, it's going to change the game for you. You think of YouTube videos as community service. And when you do community service, anyway, it does change the game there for you. And then don't stop creating. Okay, you want to find efficient ways so that you can create just tons of stuff. So first of all, I want to share with you my a big mistake that I did. So years ago, I started this business. I was teaching the skills of happiness. It was this amazing thing, and I took my entire 401k savings and I put it into this fantastically beautiful short film that was going to go viral. It was going to get out there. It was going to tell everybody about this new way of looking at happiness, that it could be a skill. And I sunk everything into this, just like everything. Anyway, I didn't realize until years later what a huge mistake this was. Yes, it was beautiful. Yes, it was cool. Yes, had a great message to it, but it did not grow my business the way I wanted it to. And it was just a very painful experience in doing this. And I always wanted to have a viral video because I thought that's the way to do business, but it really isn't. Okay, I went to this conference and a guy named Nate Woodbury opened my eyes up to this. He said, do you want a viral video or do you want a slow growing video? You know, raise your hand. And everyone said they wanted a viral video. And then he showed these statistics, and he showed like, this is what Gangnam Style, and you remember Gangnam Style, what a big hit it was. This is kind of the bell curve that most viral videos take. They have this really big hit, and then this is the part you want to pay attention to. They disappear. They go away. And instead, what you want is something like this. It may be slow growing, but look at that trajectory. It just gets better and better and better as it goes along. And that's what, when you're doing your YouTube videos right, that's what's going to happen, is that they are all focused on growing your business. You're going to be getting more customers all the time. And that is when you understand this one main, most important principle, and that is that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, and it's owned by the largest. So when you understand that, it's going to change the game, because everything that you create, you're going to want to create it in that idea of what can be searchable content so people can actually find me. So if you are a coach, it means that you are teaching people something. You are always providing answers to problems and questions that they might have. That's exactly what YouTube's about. That's what Google is about. And since Google and YouTube are both search results based, if you are creating content that is what people are looking for, they're going to be searching for you, and they're searching for you in their pain, in their question. They're needing an answer, they're needing a guide, and that's where it just makes sense for you to be that coach. So you can be discovered by new people every day, by people actually seeking the advice you're given. And now that you have this picture in mind, I want to share with you this 4-part framework that will help you create videos so that new people can find you all the time. So the first one is start with your why. Remember, you are a kingdom entrepreneur. People don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care, right? Remember that you are doing this for His glory, not for your own. It's really easy to fall into that trap of trying to be popular and things like that. You don't want to fall into that trap. Look at the Old Testament. All of these great people fell, and it was really according to pride. So stay away from that. And think about your YouTube content as community service. When you are giving before you're getting, it makes a tremendous difference on the kinds of people that you attract and how they perceive you. Okay. Number two, create value-driven content. Give away your gold, and you give before you can get. When you are, don't hide your best stuff behind a paywall. Don't make people, have to buy into your program before you teach them, before you help them. Give first makes a huge difference. Number three, you want to reverse engineer your searchable content. Okay, you start with topics and keywords that people are actually searching for. I'm going to do another training just specifically on this. This is a really big idea, but basically you start with a topic that people are looking for first, and you create your content around that. That way you come in front of people that are looking for you right where you're at, and in the pain that they are at. And then the next thing is to do it efficiently so that you can do more. Okay? And not all of your stuff is going to be great. One of my favorite things is that like you can hate the Beatles songs. You can hate 80% of the Beatles songs and say they just, they whatever, you didn't like them. But even if you hated 80% of their songs, that would still give you 47 amazing songs simply because of the sheer number of songs they created. When you're creating tons of content, you are going to be able to, anyway, you're going to be able to get out to the audience that you want. You're going to be able to grow your audience. People are going to find you easier, and just you're going to want to find a way to do this efficiently. So happy to share some things that I've learned on that through this series. Just keep, pay attention here. But I would just want to help reframe your mind that if you have been looking at YouTube to grow your business and you're just putting videos on there or using it as a server, yeah, that can maintain your business, but it doesn't grow it. You want to be able to have people find you. You want to use it as a cultivation tool so that people can find you. And that is the 4-step process for doing it. I'm running out of time. I just want to share with you. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope that you recognize that you can make it easy. It doesn't have to be super hard. And I hope that you see that you can actually do this. Okay? So with that, thank you for joining me today. And I just have to remember how to do this. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Got a video question you'd like answered on the show? Head over to scottwilhite.com/talk and leave me a voicemail message. If you're a Christian coach looking to grow both your impact and your business using the power of video, go to godscalling.me and join our community. You belong with us. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon. I hope that was fun for you. I hope that you enjoyed that. Anyway, I hope you got some value out of that. So, I wasn't sure if that would work or not. But that was really kind of fun. There was a lot of energy there. So let me just tell you a little bit about what we just did and the purpose behind this, what it's all about. Hopefully that you got in the training just how amazing YouTube is for growing your business. Now, I've known this for a long time, and honestly, I haven't been doing it. I haven't been practicing it. And if you are somebody who's on my email list, you probably also recognize that I don't send a lot of emails simply because it just takes so much time and so much effort. And the things that I do all the time are things that I do very easily. And so what I'm studying right now is how to make things simpler and how to use them in different ways. And so what we just did is we just recorded a full-on YouTube video training that I'm going to be able to throw into some editing software, and very easily I'll be able to see where the timer starts and where the end cards appear, and I can cut that piece out and I can put it onto YouTube. Yes, I know this live stream is going on YouTube right now, but when you're searching for content and you see this longer live stream, I mean, that you want the answers. You want to get to your answers right away. So a shorter video shorter than a live stream is going to be more effective. So that's the first part of that. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter. If you noticed, I put my hand over the lens there. That's another marker for me. And anyway, I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter. And with that video, I'm going to export it out and then I'm going to put it onto Facebook. I'm involved in a lot of different Christian coaching groups. And that is valuable training that I can freely give to them. It's anyway, hopefully it doesn't come across as self-promoting. Hopefully, they recognize that I'm sharing my gold, sharing my value, and I can start to serve there, but I can also start to help people go, who is this Scott guy? I've never heard of him before. So it's another way to grow your audience, but it's a great way to repurpose content. So it's really easy for me to do these live streams where I just talk to you. I just share the things in my heart. And then in the middle of that, we're going to record, and I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to record a YouTube video that I can use it in those multiple areas. Also, I've got coaching. And I can use these support videos all the time. If people are asking questions, how to use YouTube. Well, now I have content for that. Okay, I hope you recognize you can do this too. It doesn't have to be super hard. Yes, I had some fancy stuff in here with things moving around. You don't even need to do that. Okay, simpler is better. I want to help you with that. So with that, let's see, this kind of brings, so I explained a little bit why I did it this way. Right now we can we can start asking questions. Let's see. Livia, I'm just kind of jumping back to what was here. Psychologically, okay, so yeah. So this is some really cool mindset stuff. I talked about it at the beginning, how I was excited but also nervous, and I just kind of get to choose in my mind which one it is I'm focused on. I've heard about this a lot. It is something that I have to deliberately, consciously choose in my mind. But if you haven't heard about those principles, it's really cool. Basically, what we tell our minds is what our minds, the the fear and excitement is the same thing to our brains. And so if we say we're excited, our minds are going to focus on that. So okay, so Olivia, you said, what is your process of finding the things that are being searched? Google Trends, what criteria do you look for? I love that. That is in a future workshop. We're going to talk about that. Thank you for adding this in so that I can see what kind of words you use as you're asking those questions. And so I'll be able to put that into the workshop that I do so that I make sure that people like you, including you, are going to find that. But I'm happy to share all of that stuff. And I think it's a little bit too deep to jump into right now, because I know I can share, we're here together, so we can share some stuff. But that is something that's really important. Actually, let's see, I will, can I just share a part of that with you? So, okay. Okay, so this I learned from Nate Woodbury, and basically, if you think about, when you are creating content, think about a tree, and that's maybe a bit too leafy, but you got these branches out here, and then you got the leaves on the ends. Okay, so you got a trunk, you got branches, and then out here you got the leaves. The leaves, that's the part where you want to be, that's where you want to be focusing on your content. You are creating leaf content, okay? Don't do trunk content. So trunk content is how to be an entrepreneur. Branch content would be how to be a coach. Leaf content would be how to use YouTube as a Christian coach, or something like that. Anyway, it's getting more specific. If you're teaching health and nutrition, relationship, anyway, you kind of understand that the more you specific you get, that's the leaf kind of stuff. And when you are creating content on those topics, that's what people are searching for. And kind of another thing to think about on this is if you think about boiling water, uh, trying to boil the ocean is just really hard. You have to really heat up a ton of stuff in order to get that to work. But to boil just a cup of water, that's a little easier. So if you could be super specific, make your topics nice and small, the people swimming around in that cup of water, you're going to be able to boil that in I'm like mixing metaphors, but hopefully you understand the concept on that. Make sure that you don't miss the training on how to reverse engineer the searchable topics, because I'm going to go into that. I'm going to share with you some technologies to use, some software that's available that makes that super cool, super interesting. What other questions do you guys have while we're on live now that I can answer? That and let's make it well. Two things. If you have ideas for future episodes, for future workshops, let me know what it is that you're worried about, what you're thinking about. How can I do this? What would this, just put that in the comments and we'll get to those in a future workshop. But if you have questions about what we just talked about using YouTube, where we can go a little bit deeper, I'm happy to spend this time together. And yes, Livia, whoops. I will tag you when we post that one so that you don't miss that. But yeah, if you want to go a little bit deeper as to about YouTube, how to grow this, what it's like, I will share with you some experiences that I've had. Well, okay. I mean, most of my experiences, honestly, have been learning to do it the wrong way, creating a whole bunch of content, spending so much time, so much money, so much energy, so much effort into creating all this stuff and having it not really move the needle, not have it work the way that I wanted it to. And now that I am very specific on the audience that I'm serving Christian coaches. Now that I understand what value I have to offer, now I can start doing that leaf training. And now that I've created this system for being able to do this just super easy, I mean, if I'm doing these live workshops every week and then can just easily snip out a YouTube video out of that also can be repurposed other ways, that's effective. That's efficient use of my time. So I could do that every week. And so after a year, that's like 50 new videos, 50 pieces of searchable content that people are looking for, where they're going to find me and they're going to realize, hey, maybe he knows some stuff that I need to know. So, okay. I love this one. What do you name a YouTube channel? I love that. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to put that on the list. And then, let's see. Okay, yeah. So we could talk about the back end, how to use Restream. So Restream is the technology that I'm using right now to multicast, yeah. So it's going to several of my Facebook groups, as well as my Facebook profile, as well as my YouTube channel. Now, one of the reasons for that is I am working to gather all of my people into one place, and that is my my Facebook group. This is if you go to godscalling.me, that will take you to my Facebook group. And this is where anyone who is a Christian coach, anyone who is spiritually minded that wants to grow their impact and their business using the power of film, using the power of media, I want to gather you in safe so that we can work together, so that we can collaborate with one another, so that we can be a community. And so that's kind of the purpose of that. I could talk anyway. My podcast talks more about gathering and the need for community, the need, to not be isolated, and that is the perfect. I mean, that's the perfect. That is the purpose of that. Sorry. So, live dive in review on our channel with feedback. Okay. What if I'm understanding you correctly, Livia? What you're talking about is doing like some hot seats, where I have you come on and maybe we do something here, and let's see. Burp, burp, burp. And we can punch in your YouTube channel, or maybe even watch some of your YouTube content and then work on that as a group. I think that's kind of what you're saying, doing some hot seats. That sounds really cool. I think another thing that would be really fun on this is that we could have other people on. We could actually do interview style stuff. And I have some things set up so that, I could do just very easily, I could do some interview things on the live stream without and still be able to create a YouTube video, multi-purpose YouTube video. So anyway, that's in the plans too. I love that. Let's see. Okay, and then let me just one kind of challenging thing is to be able to is to be able to talk and interact and read comments at the same time. It is a bit of a challenge for me to do that. Some of these content or some of these questions I will be catching at the end and just making sure that you know, I get all your information as far as what it is you want for future workshops and things like that. This is great. Does it matter if you use a regular Gmail or business G Suite to start a channel? Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. Honestly, I'd have to do some research. But yeah, we can jump into all of these things. And anyway, I hope this is super helpful. Is there any questions that anyone has just on YouTube, using YouTube to grow your business? One of the one of the other things that has okay, I shared with you that idea that once you understand this concept, you will never look at YouTube the same again. Because I mean, we see people on YouTube and they're watching entertainment and all sorts of things, but the way that we use it the most and the way that works for the kind of business that we are in as Christian coaches is, you know, helping people solve problems, as giving answers, sharing advice, giving frameworks. Here's the process that you do. All of that is perfect for how-to videos, for instructional videos, over-the-shoulder videos, and all of these things you can do easily and effortlessly. You know, I like to say push button easy, right? And we can create those on and use them on video. Let's see. Oh, Olivia, you've got some more great questions for me. Yeah, okay, this is going to be awesome. Um, well, actually, so this one, okay. Uh, so I believe that you're asking about, Olivia, I believe you're asking about YouTube. Can you merge your different playlists or your different channels into one? You've made different playlists for each topic. It's harder to manage multiple. Yes, it is. And I've had a lot of different ones. I believe that, yes, you can merge them. I have not done that simply because I found that this one was on this topic, you know. So okay, so my entrepreneurial journey has not been a straight path. And yes, it's been a roller coaster, but it's been like this windy, and I think most of us can relate, this windy big mess of, of direction. And so I wouldn't want to take all of the different things out there and put them onto my current YouTube channel, even though I think it's great content and everything. It will, it if people aren't clear about what they're going to get by subscribing to my channel, by, you know, learning what I have to offer, then I'm doing them a disservice. It's all about editing, right? When you edit a video, when you edit a film, you're taking out all the extraneous information that you don't want to distract people with. You want to give them the very, you know, the next point in the story that you're helping them follow. So I would recommend, you know, when you pick your topic, pick your channel, just be very specific as to everything that you've got in there, and focus on how to reverse engineer what it is that your people are searching for. So actually, here's a little bit of advice on that. So the main thing that you need to figure out are two things. First of all, what is the problem that you solve? Okay, number one, what is the problem that you solve? Next question is, how are your ideal clients looking for that content? How are they searching for it? And when you understand those two things, then you're going to be able to create the kind of content that is going to be specific for them. It's going to be what they're looking for when they're in their pain, when they're in their need, and you come to them with, I've got answers. And when you come to them where you're serving first, where you're giving first, before you're saying, hey, buy my course or something like that, you're not using a push strategy, but you're using an attract strategy. Way more effective on that. So let's see. Um, Okay, yeah, and Livia, you just said that you had multiple channels. You're currently using multiple playlists within one channel, and it would be harder to manage three channels. You want to be really focused on what it is that you're doing, what your core offer is, and really you got to look at it from your audience's side. If they come to your channel and you've got just like scattered stuff, you know, just all over the place, they don't know what it is that you're going to give them. They don't care about you. That's one of the secrets. They don't care about you. They care about themselves and what value they're going to get out of it. So if you can super clearly be able to describe, be able to position yourself so that when people come to your channel, they know exactly what they're going to get. You know, they're going to get health and nutrition information. They're going to get relationship advice for working with teenagers. You know, they're going to get how to understand your true identity as a mother. You know, like whatever it is that is your specific service to people, that's what you want your channel to be about. And anyway, hopefully that helps. I'm just checking over here. I have a couple of things over here um, that has different ways to see comments on here. Also, I'm not sure if the YouTube comments are tapped in. I think all the comments that we've been having were from Facebook. But anyway, it's kind of cool, right? So before we close up here, I just want to explain one more thing about the live video system, is what I'm calling it. Maybe there's a better term for this, because a lot of times people think live video means that you have to live stream or that you have to broadcast live, and that is absolutely not true. It's what you immediately think of, but the thing is, I have been using this system for the last year because I have been so busy that I just haven't had time to create content. But now that I've made it so simple that it's pretty much just push to record, and then when you're done, you hit stop. Sometimes there's a little bit of editing that you could do in there, but the more you can just make it efficient for yourself, the more content that you can create. So I told you a little bit about my podcast. This is a podcast I started on January 1st of this year. I consider this using the live video system, even though none of this is live. But when I record an episode, I just use my phone. I make it as simple as possible. And you can see since January 1st, I've created a ton of content. Okay. Now, what if we can use that same kind of principle and apply it to video or other things? And also in using these live video things, again, not always live, but always recorded with the simplest way possible. I use them. I've created courses with them. I've created coaching training, video voicemails, all sorts of different things, outreaches to partners. So I want to help you to be able to understand that it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be huge production. The simpler, the better, because if it's super simple, then we'll actually do it. And that's what this kind of experiment has been for thank you, on doing this live workshop. So anyway, thank you so much. Let's see. Let me just see. Okay. This one from a Facebook user. I wanted to start a channel showing me and my friends struggling through learning affiliate marketing, showing the frustrations of the technology as we bumble through. Can that be a channel just showing that it's not easy, but we help each other and laugh instead of quitting? Can this work as a channel? Yes, it can work as a channel, but it goes against what I shared with you in the YouTube training. If you remember, and this is a mistake I have made over and over and over again. In fact, if you look at my podcast is basically what you're talking about there. It's a journey. It's documenting a journey and the experiences that I've had along the journey. I feel like I'm giving great value to people, but that podcast is not growing my audience. It's working as amazing validation. When somebody wants to join my coaching program, they're going to do a bunch of searches on me. They're going to check out all the different things that are out there, and they're going to find my podcast, and they're going to listen to that, and they're going to go, is this somebody I know, like, and trust? Is this somebody I want to invest in? So it's going to be great validation for them, but it's not content that is going out and reaching to people, where it's not content that they're searching for. People don't go searching for, tell me a story about frustration starting affiliate marketing. You know, they're not searching for that, but they are searching for how to do affiliate marketing effectively, how to do affiliate marketing as a mom of three. You know, like when they're getting really specific on that, and you can answer those questions, that's the YouTube searchable. That's using YouTube as the search engine that it is. The other one is using it as a channel more like a broadcast platform, more like a free place for people to go and find your shows. Anyway, does that make sense to you? Anyway, I just want to point that out to you because this is a mistake that I made over and over and over again, and it did not grow my business, and it took a ton of time. It took a lot of energy. It took a lot of money to put that together, and so that is a huge mistake that I've made. Do I discourage you from doing a documentary like that? No. No, and if you can make it super simple and if you can make it fun and engaging, absolutely do it. Just don't do it with the mindset that if I do this, it's going to grow my business. It won't grow it, but it may support it. Does that make sense? So people, before they sign up for my coaching, they're going to go to my podcast, but they won't be searching for, you know, how do I tap into God's power when I feel like I have a calling, which is kind of what that's about. So anyway, I hope that makes sense to you. But oh, and thank you for saying thank you for saying that. Yes, that we can have kind of that interaction in here. I love the idea. I love the concept. And if you are, having those frustrations and going through that, yeah, find simple ways to document it. One of the things that I so enjoyed is years ago, I was kind of coming to the end of one of my, twisty turny business venture things, and it just wasn't working out. And so I thought, should I quit? Should I give up? And I reached out to a friend of mine before I did this, and I thought, I'm going to just reach out to a bunch of trusted advisors and get their opinions, get their advice, and I'm going to record it, and maybe I'm going to make a podcast out of that. And I ended up recording it, didn't end up making a podcast, but I have gone back to those recordings over and over again for myself because he gave great advice. Actually, I had several people that gave great advice. So documenting these things is wonderful, and you can share those with others. Just if you're going to use YouTube as the search engine it is, you got to figure out what are your ideal clients searching for? What are they in pain about? What do they have questions about? What expertise do you have that you can absolutely share with them? And that's where they're going to be able to find you. So I hope that makes sense. I want to be respectful to your time. And so we're going to close up here. But just a couple of things here. I will be doing these most Saturdays. I do have some other engagements coming up. But do look for these, same bat time, same bat channel. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss anything, if you join the Facebook group godscalling.me, you'll be able to, it's just a lot easier to find that. And if you're watching on YouTube or something like that, like and subscribe. So the last thing that I want to do is I want to pray for you. And this is something that's still kind of new to me. It feels very public. I'm a very private kind of person. I know that seems weird because I'm on camera, but I'm a very private person. But I've been listening to a bunch of other Christian podcasters, and I am just so deeply touched when they share their heart that way. And I would absolutely love it if you would join me in prayer and that you accept this part of our show. So. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for our many blessings. We're thankful to be able to gather together, thankful to be able to transcend time and space as we talk amongst ourselves and figure out how can we fulfill the callings that was put into our hearts better? How can we use the technologies and what is available to us? And we have so many questions and we're learning so many different things. Dear Father, we pray for all the people who will watch this, whether they have watched it live, whether they watch rebroadcast, or whether they stumble across it in different ways. We pray that thy angels will take this content to those that need it. And pray that those that have been on the fence about should they create content, do they have anything of value to share, that they will recognize that the light, the knowledge, the experiences that was putting into their heart, that is not for them alone, but it is to be shared. Dear Father, we are thankful for thy gifts. We are thankful for thy kindness, for thy mercy. And we pray that thy spirit will be with everyone in the group. And we love thee very much. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this. Anyway, it's kind of fun. It was an experiment. Again, the live stream will be on YouTube and everything. And then when I get a little bit of time to edit, I will edit out that little training so you can rewatch that if you'd like to. And anyway, thank you for joining me on God's Calling Me to Coach. And also, anyway, thanks, Livia. And thank you all for adding comments and sharing and watching. And if you're watching the rebroadcast of this, we missed your Spirit Live, but we know that you're here. You're part of us. You belong with us. And so glad to have you here. I'll talk to you.